Hi everyone, welcome back to some Agile practice questions, ideal for practicing for your PMP exam or any other Agile related certification like the Agile Certified Practitioner from PMI. Let's get into the questions. Oh, this one's a long one. And they're all going to be scenario based as well, which is really fantastic, exactly like they will be on the PMP exam. For Agile life cycles, two kinds of planning occur: release planning and iteration planning. In release planning, business representatives, such as the product owner, establish and prioritize the user stories for release. So that's our product backlog. In collaboration with the team, refining larger user stories into a collection of smaller user stories. Okay, this is great so far. What is the incorrect description below regarding iteration planning and backlog preparation? Wow, okay, this is a real mouthful, this question, but you will come across questions like this in the exam as well. So let's see what we've got. The backlog is the ordered list of all of the work presented in story form for a team. That seems pretty good. The coach encourages the team to work alone so no one bothers them. Okay, probably not this one. It's sort of against Agile principles. We really want to work continuously as a team, collaborating all the time, like around each other. So it's probably going to be that one. The facilitator encourages the team to work in the triads of developer, tester, and product owner or business analyst. So this is the three amigos that you'll hear about, and that's definitely one of the Agile core practices. And the triad: discuss, write, and then place enough stories into an iteration and enough features for a first release. That's also a wonderful practice in practice when you're actually doing Agile. So I think we're going to go with the incorrect answer being B. Answer B. Answers A, C, and D are correct in describing backlog preparation for iteration planning, according to the Agile Practice Guide from the Agile Alliance and Project Management Institute. A wonderful guide if you ever get into it. How did you go? Let's get into the next question. Behavior-driven development, or BDD, allows a developer to focus on testing the code based on the expected behavior of the software, and is a method of writing user stories. Okay, and acceptance criteria basically, so ACs. This is a really great way to do your user stories if you ever get into it. What is the correct description regarding behavior-driven development acceptance-based criteria? Well, that's also a bit of a mouthful. So what have we got here? Make, buy, and do. I'm not sure about that one. I haven't really heard of that. Tell, show, and repeat. Okay, I'm not sure about that one either. Find, create, and perform. Aren't these fantastic? These could be models in their own right, you know, and so don't get tripped up by these sorts of things. Given, when, then, that, oh, and I didn't mean to cross that out, but given, when, then, given something happens, given a certain circumstance, when something happens, then I want this to happen. That is our behavior-driven development for acceptance criteria. Let's go with answer D. Answer D. Given, when, then is the way behavior-driven development is used, particularly when outlining user story cards for iteration. It highlights given a certain situation, when something happens, then we want this to happen. Every project has characteristics around requirements, delivery, change, and goals. Understanding the different types of life cycle, you can choose the right one for the circumstances of your project. So different project life cycles we're talking about here. What is the correct description for a waterfall approach? And you know, we need to know this because while a company may, or even our team may say that we're doing Agile, sometimes we're actually doing a combination, or a little bit of waterfall and a little bit of Agile. So let's check this out. A waterfall approach is predictive. Yes, definitely predictive, but they all say predictive, so that's going to trip us up. Okay, we've got fixed requirements. Yes, that's definitely true. So these ones are fixed requirements, so not variable and not variable. That's more of an Agile methodology there. Fixed requirements performed once for the entire project. That's also true, and it's in a single big bang delivery. So all at once, we do all of our project and then we release at the end. Whereas in Agile, we're continually releasing features and basically continually delivering value in smaller releases. So it's probably going to be answer A for this, for a waterfall approach. Answer A. A predictive or waterfall project management lifecycle focuses on fixed requirements performed once for the project in a single delivery. Every project has characteristics around requirements, delivery, change, and goals. Understanding the different types of life cycle. Okay, we've got another life cycle question. Fantastic. Now we can check out the other types. So we want to choose the right one for the circumstances of our project. And this is really helpful because if we do have a high change environment, then maybe we do want to select an agile lifecycle. Or if we have a low change environment with low risk, then maybe we can just do one big bang project, like a waterfall approach. So what's the correct description for an iterative project approach? And this is important because agile is made up of iterative and incremental, and those two things form the agile approach basically. So let's figure this out. Iterative is dynamic requirements. Repeated until correct in multiple deliveries. Okay, with iterative, what we're doing is we're iterating towards success. So we're continually changing. So I think we're probably not going to have fixed requirements, so we could probably get rid of these. And so dynamic requirements, because we're iterating, we're continually improving. So dynamic requirements, but it's not multiple deliveries, it's a single delivery only, and we're continually improving until we get to that final release, basically. And so let's go with answer B. Dynamic requirements, they're repeated until they're correct, so continually improving, but they're done in a single delivery. So let's check it out. Answer B. Okay, thank goodness. That one was a bit tricky. Iterative methods have dynamic requirements, so they're ever changing, but they're ever improving, and they're repeated with that feedback until they are correct, but they're delivered only once. So once for that increment, but once overall. And if we're doing increments, then we're delivering in increments, and that's a separate story. Maybe that will come up soon. Let's check it out. Not in the next question, unfortunately. The team charter is also a social contract. Okay, we're taking a little bit of a different track here. Which of the below is not usually a part of an agile team charter? Team values, such as, okay, that's definitely a part of a team charter. Sustainable pace, really important, and core hours of the team. Working agreements, such as what ready means and what done means, really important as well, good to go in your team charter. Ground rules, such as one person talking in a meeting, also really important. And schedule performance index and cost performance index for the project. These are more terms from the project management body of knowledge, probably for a waterfall approach, all done in one big bang where we're predicting the elements around our project. So I think not for a team charter is answer D. Answer D. The Agile Team Charter focuses on the vision, the why, and the team's way of work. The SPI and CPI, Cost Performance Index, are earned value management metrics from a predictive project methodology, so your waterfall approach, and they're not part of your traditional Agile Team Charter. Let's get into the next question. You're working with a team that is new to Agile and you're using Scrum to manage the project. The business representative is confused about the difference between a sprint review and a sprint retrospective. What will you tell them? Okay, let's check it out. The sprint reviews demonstrate the work completed in the sprint. Yeah, that seems promising. Sprint retrospectives look at all the work completed in the project. Okay, that's not right for that second one. Sprint reviews discuss what is worked on in the sprint. That seems right as well. Sprint retrospectives are done at the end of the project for a lesson learned opportunity. I mean, you can do that, but we want retrospectives done at every iteration, at the end of every iteration. So probably not that one either. Sprint reviews review the lessons learned. Sprint retrospectives look at the history of the product retrospectively. No, definitely not. That's just a little bit, I don't know what that means actually. I mean, it's definitely not that. And lastly, sprint reviews are for product demonstrations. Yes, that's it. So we're demonstrating the product to the business or the customer. And sprint retrospectives are for lessons learned. I mean, yes, that is true as well. But ideally, and it didn't mention it here, we're doing it at the end of each iteration so we can iterate and continuously improve our process. So I think the best one is going to be answer D. Let's check it out. Answer D. Sprint reviews are for product demonstrations. Sprint retrospectives are for lessons learned, where we ask what went well, what didn't go well, and what did I learn? Keep going, you're doing great. Let's check out the next question. You're working on an Agile project as a team member and begin gathering the product requirements. What is the overall first question that you should ask and use as a guide for your work? Okay, let's check it out. How long will the project last? Some people might be asking that, but I don't think that's really what we want to, I mean, it is still valid, but probably not for an Agile project. Well, I mean, let's see what else we've got. What is the business value? Okay, definitely business value. Definitely business value. That's the core driving force behind what we're delivering in an Agile team. How much is the budget? Again, these are valid questions, but probably not the first question that we're going to be asking. And how many team members are there that will participate? Again, all of these questions are valid in a project. We do need to know these things, but the core question is, what is the value that we're delivering? What is our core purpose? So let's go with answer B. Answer B. Agile projects center around delivering business value and working closely with the customers and business representatives to ensure that the value is always correct. So we're changing if we need to. Business risk and the impact of not undertaking the project must also be considered. Yep, very true. We're really getting through these questions. You're doing great. So let's see what we've got next. The Agile team for which you're the project manager has determined several key features to deliver to the customer. How should these tasks be tackled by the team? Okay. Key features, that's what we're after. The features should be prioritized, tested, and delivered incrementally. Probably, yes, that seems like a good one. The features should be delivered quickly, whether or not they're complete, to gather feedback. Oh, no. I mean, we still really want them to be complete. People think Agile is about being fast, and it is about being fast, but it's also about quality. I mean, quality is really important. So we're delivering a whole feature that's complete and usable and obviously good quality. Probably not number B or letter B. The features should be delivered according to the project plan. I mean, in a way, but project plan sort of is more of a waterfall approach where we're planning everything out all in one go. And all the features should be delivered at the end of the project. Again, more of a waterfall approach. So let's go with answer A and see what we've got. Answer A. Agile is a combination of incremental delivery and iterative development. So we're delivering in small increments and we're continuously improving as well over time and getting that feedback. That means business value is continuously and iteratively improved and prioritized. So we change if we need to. And it also means it's delivered in increments that the customer can see, feel, and touch and use. And these features should be complete, tested, and quality is everyone's responsibility. Yes, we have testers, but we do have quality. It has to be built into the requirements, built into the features. The solution has to have quality, built in around it. And so that's a really big part of the whole team approach in an Agile team. All right, we're doing great. We're really getting through these questions. Keep going. What's our next one look like? You're working on an Agile project and the project team have just finished an iteration. Fantastic. All tasks for the iteration have been completed and you're ready to move on to the next iteration. But you're not sure what the team should work on. Okay, what will you do next? And these are great scenario-based questions, aren't they? So you will see this sort of question on the PMP exam around Agile in a scenario. So what will we do? Will we follow the project plan developed early in the project? Probably not, because that's more of a waterfall approach. Will we follow the project management office, who's already determined how the project should progress? Again, probably not, more of a waterfall approach. Should we ask the product owner, who continuously prioritizes the backlog? That looks very promising. So we've got our backlog of items or features, and sometimes one might move up, one might move up, this one might move down, but it's all prioritized by the business, who's represented by the product owner. Probably answer C. Let's check out answer D. Ask the project coach or team leader to determine the next iteration. No, yeah, okay, so team leader, it's a team approach, and so part of that team is the product owner prioritizing those features. Let's go with answer C. Answer C. The product owner represents the customer who you're delivering that business value to. The team works through the list of items that have identifiable value and have been prioritized by the customer. That is wonderful. All right, let's see what we've got next. There's only a couple to go. You're doing great. While meeting with the customers or business owners, they introduce several pieces of new functionality into the product backlog list. Oh, and this can happen all the time. The deadline for the product cannot be changed. Okay, this is a great scenario. Let's see what we're going to do. What will we do next? Should we tell the team to work overtime in order to deliver the project? And look, many projects will take this approach. They'll say, okay, we're going to throw resources at this. We're going to hire extra people. Okay, everyone, all hands on deck. But you know what? In Agile, that's not the approach we're going to take, because we're about a sustainable pace. We want it to be sustainable forever. So let's see what else we got. Stand by your team and tell the customers the project will not be delivered on time. Okay, now here's the thing, Agile's not about that either, because we're wanting to continuously deliver value and features and pieces of increments that customers can see, feel, and touch. So we still want to be delivering value. It's probably not that one. Should we be sure the customers understand that lower priority features may drop off the project completely? Now that looks promising. We can still deliver things, but we'll deliver the high value features, and the lower value features will potentially simply drop off or maybe be finished at the end of the project if there's extra time left. That looks very promising, that one. Lastly, agree with the customers to have all new items put into a separate category that will be completed if time allows. Look, I mean, that's also a decent idea, but I think with Agile, we're looking at prioritization. So prioritization of business value, which is hard for me to say, but easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. Let's go with answer C. Answer C. An Agile project can accept changes even late in development. And that's one of the Agile principles, isn't it? So while the competing constraints of cost, quality, and schedule are often fixed, in Agile, the scope can vary over time. And this means some features may need to drop off and others become prioritized above them. A maintainable pace is required as well, so project managers must not overwork the team, because what happens then? The team gets burnt out and then people quit or leave or stop working, or hard, or get disengaged in their work, and so then the product quality drops off. So having a sustainable pace is also extremely important, and it's a part of this answer. So that's really, really good. And so we must not overwork the project team to increase the project pace of work. So really, really good, and a really key lesson in Agile. We're doing fantastic. Let's check out the next question, guys. Every project has characteristics around requirements. Oh, good, it's another project lifecycle question. Fantastic. Delivery, change, and goals. Understanding the different types of lifecycle will allow you to choose the right one for the circumstances of your project. What is the correct description for an incremental project management approach? And this one's a lot easier for me than that iterative one, because we're delivering in increments. It's right there in the name. Let's see what we've got. So fixed requirements, activities performed once in multiple deliveries. Potentially, except we want dynamic requirements, I think. So we're heading towards more of an Agile approach here. So let's go with, we've got B and C as dynamic requirements. Activities repeated until correct in one large delivery. Okay, definitely not one large delivery. So we want multiple deliveries here. So dynamic requirements performed once for a given increment. Okay, well, that seems fair. Infrequent smaller deliveries. Yes, that's also fair. So for each of these increments, we're actually going through the whole process and then delivering. And then if we're iteratively improving, then that's a separate thing. But for each one, we can iterate as well. And when we combine those two things together, we have our Agile approach. So let's go with answer C. Answer C. Incremental project management approach includes dynamic requirements performed once for one of those increments, and those increments delivered in frequent smaller deliveries. That is a wonderful way, and I think we've learned a lot about Agile just going through these questions so far. You guys are doing absolutely fantastically, and I think you're doing a great job for going through these, and I really, really think that you're going to prepare well for your PMP exam or any other Agile certification that you might be going towards as well. I've had a wonderful time doing these questions with you, and I hope to see you next time when we check out some more Agile questions and see how well we know Agile for our teams or to prepare for one of our exams. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.